I'm Joanna DeCellis, editor of Club and Resort Chef. I'm here today with Ed Doyle, president of Real Food and also senior vice president of food and beverage for Troon. Thanks for joining us
today. That's a mouthful. You got it right. Good to see you, Joanna.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. You've got a dual role here. So tell us a little bit about what is it you do?
That's a great question. That's a big question. How we describe what we do in general is we create experiences.
Okay.
So now I do that through two different channels. So for 17 years, I've been the president of Real Food Hospitality Strategy and Design out of Boston.
Okay.
So we are a hospitality strategy firm, really figuring out what we all want to do is create hospitality moments and how we do that.
Yeah.
And we started working with Troon 2 years ago.
Okay.
And we decided to become part of the Troon family of brands. So a great opportunity for us to join the industry leader, number one golf management company in the world.
Yeah.
Really moving into much more of a hospitality brand, moving beyond the golf.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a perfect alliance of where they want to go and where we have gone. And in a very dynamic time in the golf business, people are looking for more experiences, greater food and beverage execution.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is trying to take the game up a bit.
Yeah.
So we're very excited to be part of that.
So you come from humble beginnings. You were a dishwasher.
Everyone in the restaurant business or hospitality business should wash dishes at some time.
So tell us a little bit about your career path. How did you get to where you are?
Well, I started washing dishes at the Magic Pan at the South Shore Plaza when I was a kid, 16 years old. And here I sit 36 years later, having been lucky enough to work for some amazing chefs and amazing organizations, and left my last real job, as I like to call it, where I was director of culinary operations for the Seaport Hotel and World Trade Center in Boston, and started Real Food.
Okay.
So now we're a team of 12 people with offices in Boston and Scottsdale and New York, and working across the swath of the industry, from golf, obviously a big part of what we do, especially as part of the Troon family now, but restaurants, institutional, on-premise, hotels, really every aspect of the hospitality business.
Wow. So what do you see happening in clubs as far as food and beverage is concerned?
It is a dynamic time. As we've seen people that have grown up on the Food Network, grown up as, I hate the word foodies, coming into the club demographic, they're bringing with them much higher expectations. What used to be called club food, which I think is such an amazing phrase, and I'm trying to banish it from all of our usage. It's just great food and beverage experiences. People are coming from New York to Palm Beach. They're coming from Chicago to Palm Springs. They're bringing with them expectations that come from Union Square Hospitality Group, coming from Let Us Entertain You, some of the finest restaurants that they eat at home.
Yeah.
And they want those same level of execution, or frankly better, at their club.
Yeah. So how do you work with the chefs within the Troon family to deliver on that?
Well, one of the most important things in the Troon world is, because we are a management company, we're an advisory service. We really don't exercise control down to here's the burger you serve. We really try to make sure that we work with our leaders to define what those experiences are, define what the objectives are for a club, and how food and beverage supports that. And obviously, as part of that, how each individual outlet or banquet environment supports achieving the club strategy. As we look at our chefs, we do a little bit of what you're trying to do here, bringing chefs together, tapping into our combined resources, and really leveraging that institutional knowledge to help people do what they do. We do it in so many places, in so many different environments. We have pretty much seen it all. So we can bring that information base to all of our chefs and all of our food and beverage leaders to really help them keep getting better and keep raising the bar.
What do you see as the biggest challenges facing the club industry?
Number one is certainly staff. And that's not just specific to the club industry. I mean, we look at a national unemployment rate that is in the 3s. We have an industry that is very transient by nature. We have a very demanding demographic in the club, especially the private club world. And that is a place where we need to do more to bring people into the industry, to get them excited about hospitality, to get them more excited about creating moments with our members and our guests, and how rewarding that can be. I mean, it served me well for 36 years. So to think about how we can get people motivated to really lay out a career path here. So especially as you look at the chef side of it, because when I was a kid, clubs were a place you went to die as a chef, right? It was a retirement home. That is not the place anymore.
No.
We have chefs that are doing some of the coolest James Beard Award-winning food and beverage experiences, and food and beverage leaders that are some of the finest wine lists out there. So there is a pathway for everyone with a passion for hospitality in the club world.
What do you see as the biggest opportunity for growth?
I think continuing to look beyond the confines of the club world for inspiration as we look at what's happening on the commercial basis, as consumer preferences are changing, as people are looking for a little more control over their cadence and timeline of their dining. Quick service, chef-driven quick service is starting to dabble into the club world. I think it is understanding that we have an incredibly diverse demographic in the club environment. To make sure that we're looking to say, let's just not do what we did before because that's what we did. Let's look to say who's doing something on the leading edge out in the commercial market, looking around the club industry and finding those best practices that let us challenge ourselves and try to do something really cool and different.
Yeah. So you were a chef. I hear you do.
I still am a chef.
You still are a chef. I
Never
hear
get
you
that out
make
of your blood.
really great barbecue.
So I have spent a lot of time on the competition barbecue circuit.
Yeah.
I am part of the IQ barbecue team. We were the world champion several years.
Amazing.
Coming out of the Jack Daniels. And, look, it's not me, it's Chris Hart, it's Andy Husbands. They are the leaders of our team, but I am there helping out. And, it is a great way to remember that food and beverage's #1 job is to bring people together.
Yeah.
So even barbecue competitions, to be able to have a reason for us to all go stand in a field, watch the smoke fly, drink beer and play poker for a weekend is a great way to bring friends back together. And I really think that is the greatest thing that food and beverage can do. We all do have the moments where we go and stand at the chef's altar and marvel at the food. But if we do food and beverage right, it creates a time stamp where people say, remember that time we had dinner? And it doesn't necessarily need to be a white tablecloth. It doesn't necessarily need to be anything super extravagant. It can be just a place where you create a moment that people remember.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given as a chef?
Man, I could run the gamut from stop being a dope to follow your dream. I mean, follow your passion. I think if you're not having fun doing what you're doing, why are you doing it, right? So I think in a place like this, to sit with all the chefs today, it's easy to find shared passion. And that doesn't mean you're going to be passionate every day. You're going to have moments where you are down in the dumps and you're having a hard day, but it is being able to rely on your peers and the other people in your network to remember this, why we do it. Our upside is incredibly powerful to give people a meal that they will remember for their entire lives. Our downside is we apologize profusely and pick up the check. So I think it is remembering that, we do what we do because we love it. So don't lose sight of that, because I think it is hard work. It is a very lucky task that we have in front of us as hospitality professionals. So.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, no,
today.
thank you for
It's
the
been a
opportunity to sit
pleasure.
with you. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. For more interviews like this, check out our site, clubandresortchef.com.